Welcome back, everybody, to the Art of Ram. Trog here, and we're talking about teaching the world how to skateboard, of course. Little different episode tonight. We're not going to be skating. I couldn't really find anyone to film on my schedule, and I had a really long day, and so we just didn't get to any filming, but I am committed to getting you guys some information out there to help you guys progress on your skateboard adventure. So here we go. In front of me right here is the Book of Ram. All right. So in here, I got a lot of stuff I've been writing. I usually fill up these skate journals fairly quick, probably once every 6 months. This thing's full front to back. I'm about a quarter into it, and this is no different. You know, in here, I have tricks for kids I do and adults that I teach individual lessons to. I keep sort of track of their foot placement and what they're working on, their goals, and more. All right, where they got, where they started, all that stuff, age, all that stuff. So parents' names, whatever, you know. Also in here, I got, you know, the season list of tricks right there. I mean, it's backwards because this is sort of a selfie video, ha ha ha, and you won't be able to read that. But if you follow me on Instagram, I've posted it up one time. I might post it up again as we advance. Anyway, tonight's episode is where to start tricks. And I wanted to go over, and I just wanted to share what I do, what works for me, is I like to say the easy way of learning new tricks. And I think this is a great share, and I'll do my best to cover everything. I know there's some things in here that you know, sometimes I do. I know there's some things in here that I do every single time, and really just thinking out of the box when it comes to learning tricks. And first things first, you want to pick a trick. What trick are you going to do? All right. That's the first thing. That's the basic thing that you want to start with. The next thing I ask myself once I picked a trick is, what surface am I riding? Am I riding birch? Am I riding masonite and hardboard? Am I riding plywood? Am I riding concrete? Am I riding skate like gator skins, ramp armor? What kind of surface am I riding today? And of course, I'll do a visual scan of everything, see how clean it is. If I'm out at a local park and it's a concrete bowl, well, I'm going to bring a broom and a dustpan, and I'm going to clean it out. I don't want anything standing in my way. And that's just something you should have in your toolkit, in your vehicle, or even your mom and dad's truck out there if you're a kid watching this. All right. So if you're not at a skate park where you know there's a staff cleaning up, bring your own stuff and prepare to boss squad that. And if you don't know what the boss squad is, it's being of service shredder. All right. It's another little thing that's spawned out of the Trog army about cleaning up your local skate parks. Not just the trash and the sig butts, but also the dirt and debris in the bottom of the bowl, or before the Euro gap, or at the bottom of the handrail, wherever it may lie. All right. So what surface am I riding? Am I riding a grippy one? Am I riding a slick surface? That's always a great thing to investigate before you start trying a new trick and battling tricks. All right. The next thing I would talk about here is what tricks and what techniques would I already want to know to do this trick. So then when I'm warming up, I'm running through all those tricks. So let's just pick the frontside 50-50, the last video we did. First thing I'm going to want to do, obviously I'm going to want to know how to drop in, right? So that's an easy one. Then I'm going to learn frontside kick turns. Well, then after that, once I've done 100 frontside kick turns in a row, I'm going to start trying to get up on top, and maybe I'm going to learn frontside 50-50 axle stalls, and so on and so on. Then as we progress here, I like to sometimes start at the top, sometimes start at the bottom. Sometimes I like to start at the end of the trick and work my way back to the beginning of the trick. So there's a couple options there. What I mean by that is, if I'm learning backside 50-50s, well, I want to learn that landing and how to axle stall drop in before I actually go up and do that 90-degree turn and then ride away, right? So I'm going to take a lot of time out of learning tricks by just starting in an axle stall, dropping in, and then going up and trying the front half of the axle stall, and then I'm already going to be more comfortable with the ride away. So I hope that makes sense for you guys out here as I continue on. But most of the time, I'll start at the bottom, and it starts with the surface, clean wheels. I'm working my way up the board. Is my truck tension right? And if I'm riding vert versus if I'm riding bull versus if I'm riding street, those are all. I might bring my skateboard tool out there and make a little adjustments to my trucks as needed. So there we go. As we move forward, where is my weight when I approach the ramp? When I approach the trick, especially on the flat bottom, this is where we're at right now. We're on the flat bottom going up a wall after a drop in or a roll in of some sort. All right. So most of the time, like I've been telling you guys, if I'm going forward up the ramp, my weight is going to be very heavy on the front foot, probably 90% on the front foot, 10% on the back foot. If I'm going fakie, I usually keep a pretty centered weight, 50-50, half and half, whatever you want to call it. Next thing, when I'm learning grinds, or if I'm doing pivot tricks, what's my angle? All right, so that's the next thing. I'm starting to work my way up the transition. What angle am I going to take for this trick? Where's my foot placement going to be? Am I going to be in a wide stance where I need to lift up over the coping? Or am I going to be in a more powerful stance? Is my foot going to be back behind the bolts? All right, so that's the next thing. There's so many different foot placements, and as you advance, you're going to know that your foot placement is constantly changing, and you're going to be constantly dancing on the board. And I have a video that talks to you guys about dancing on the board. It's just what I call it. Essentially, it's a small hop that's very fast and fierce, and it gets you into that next position for that next trick in between walls. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Next thing I'm going to talk about is we're starting to go up the transition. What happens with my weight at that point? All right, so am I starting to lean back like a backside air or an invert? I'm going to start leaning back on my back foot. If I'm doing a rock fakie, I'm still going to just lean forward all the way through until I get into the rock. All right, so where's my weight as I'm doing the trick? Where's it going to be? And then again, once you're up the wall and you're approaching the coping, you're going to analyze what are your feet doing? What are your ankles doing? Am I going to roll my ankle on the foot to balance the board, or am I going to keep my foot flat? All that stuff are questions I ask myself on the daily. What are my knees going to be doing? I'm a firm believer, the taller you are, the harder you fall, the lower you are, the softer you're going to fall. All right. The lower your knees are, the easier it is for you to get into the bailout pattern, which we'll get to. All right. What are my hips going to do during the trick? Am I twisting? Am I keeping firm and loose? What's my weight doing? That's more so what I'm into the trick at that point. What is my waist going to be doing? All right. Am I going to be leaning into the ramp? Am I going to be leaning onto the deck? So on and so on. It goes up to your chest, your arms, your shoulders. Am I twisting? Am I doing turning tricks? Am I doing straight up and down tricks? Just, there is a lot to think about, but I hope this list really helps you out. All right. Again, we talked about now where we are, where the weight is during the trick, and I'm going to write these down on the screen here, and you can write them down. You can watch this video. You can ask some questions. Help figure it out, because I'm constantly adding to this list as well. This is just a quick run through, even though I'm sure this minute is going to be 8 or 9 minutes long too. But that's just the art of RAM. It's fully detailed, low quality production, high quality content. I say it all the time. Again, I'm at the top of the trick here. What are my eyes and head doing? All that stuff. It really makes a difference. When I teach skateboarding, I teach that skateboarding is like 25, 30 motions all at once to make one single action happen on your skateboard, one single trick. It takes so many things. Non-skaters, I just don't even know how you could even relate to that out there in the real world if you're not a skateboarder, like driving a car, there's probably 10 things you got to do to pay attention and be safe on the road. In skateboarding, there's 30 things, This is you're fighting for your life when you're on your skateboard. And I mean, you got to take this stuff serious, or you're going to face the wrath, and fall hard. So we don't want that for you guys. So 3 different parts, 3 different changes. I'm running through the approach, the trick, and the re-entry, and it's pretty much the whole body, the whole motion. How's this gonna go down the easiest way? All right. And a couple other things is that a couple other things that just really help this is to bust out your camera. Everyone's got a camera, everyone's got a cell phone nowadays. Watch yourself, like slow it down, put it in slow motion, see, and then go over the list. Once you have that clip of you trying it, even if it's last try of the day, I'm going to try one trick one time, videotape it, bring it home. Now go to your skate journal, ask all the questions we just went over, and then figure it out and go back the next day, get your camera set up, boom, put it down. I really bet you'll be so much closer than you would be if you just tried 300 tries. You know what I'm saying? So the art of RAM, again, we've talked about 3 to 5 tries to get your tricks. I don't try tricks rarely more than 5 times, unless we're filming an episode like that rail slide fakie. It's just not my gig, like I'll try it 5 times, and then the next day I'll just go back and I'll start trying other tricks that will get me to that progression that I want to be at, So the last thing I want to talk about is bailing out of tricks, like if you're not wearing knee pads and a helmet yet, pick some up, do yourself a favor, like learn some tricks quickly, all right? Learning the bailout pattern is going to be really your best friend when it comes down to this, all right? Learn that knee slide, all right? Go back, check out Skateboard Basics, learn the knee slide if you need some tips and pointers on that. Lastly, on this, it always helps, of course, to have friends around, great music, but I hope this video helps you guys out in the way that, a little insight into my mind when I'm teaching riders and when I'm learning tricks myself. Again, I've been working at teaching skateboarding for 17 years at the Third Layer Skate Park in Minnesota, and I'm really passionate about teaching skateboarding and now teaching the world how to skateboard. It's like something I don't want to hold in anymore. This is kind of my legacy out there. I want my daughter to know that this is what I do, and I love building skateboard ramps and skating with kids, at their local skate park or at home at their at-home ramps that I install for them. So really appreciate all your guys' support. Tons of great comments all the time on the channel from the videos that have been put out. And I am going to start doing question and answer sessions just like this, but answering your guys' questions out there and just really building this community out here. So love you guys. Ram it down. I hope to see you guys soon. All right. Take care.